Welcome to a new episode of Cheaters Always Cheat. Like, subscribe, and share to stay connected.
My name is Luciano Rossetti, and I've been blissfully wedded to Lily for a decade and a half. We are blessed with 2 daughters who are in their pre-teens and still hold a deep affection for their father. I see myself as a dominant male, a person who asserts himself and doesn't put up with any form of disrespect. However, I handle my wife with the greatest respect, recognizing her as a unique gem. In our bond, I encourage her to take the lead and feel confident, but only to a certain extent. My father's genes have gifted me with a towering height of 6 feet 6 inches and a muscular body weighing 265 pounds. I have an imposing aura, but in truth, I'm a soft-hearted colossus, unless someone ruffles my feathers. Lily has seen this aspect of me on a few occasions when we've been out and she's been confronted by some intimidating individuals. Lily is a stunning beauty with a curvaceous figure, long appealing legs, a slender waist, and a charming face. Men are naturally drawn to her and often try to flirt, which understandably irks me. One of my weaknesses is my propensity towards jealousy, and once it's ignited, it's challenging to keep in check. Over the years, I've strived to manage my temper, but I'm still on the path to mastering it. Moving forward, Lily has witnessed my envy flare up twice in our 15-year relationship, and she's fully aware of my capabilities. On 2 occasions while we were out, some rude individuals persisted in pressuring her to dance after she had already declined, despite her explaining she was with me. Both times, they disregarded her refusal and forcibly pulled her from her seat right in front of me. Perhaps assuming that their tough appearance would intimidate me into compliance, they made a grave mistake. The first incident happened while we were casually conversing about our daughters and enjoying ourselves. I was startled when one of them boldly grabbed her hand and attempted to drag her away without hesitation. Instantly, I rose from my seat and positioned myself between him and my wife. Before he could even reach the dance floor, I swiftly dislocated his shoulder and guided him back to our booth, where he writhed in pain. Lily and I promptly left the scene. As I've mentioned before, I have zero tolerance for disrespect, and my biggest struggle is managing my jealousy. This situation raises a troubling question. Given her knowledge of my temperament, why would Lily permit such incidents to occur? This issue came to a head during a recent date night. Despite my suspicions, my affection for her remained unwavering. However, several unusual occurrences, absent throughout our 15-year marriage, began to arouse my intuition. The changes in her attire and appearance became noticeable when the new boss assumed control at the office. Suddenly, our intimate life took a positive turn, with her displaying initiative, a behavior previously unseen. There was a surge in late-night text messages and more frequent late work meetings. While she provided plausible explanations for everything, my inherent jealousy remained unsettled. I instructed the private investigation firm not to disclose any findings until completing their investigation. I hoped my suspicions were merely paranoia, not wanting to disrupt our relationship. After 3 months of investigation, I received a dossier containing the dreaded news. After reviewing the evidence, I instructed my attorney, Mac, to prepare divorce papers for Wednesday afternoon, planning to confront them on their Thursday night date while they believed I was out of town, intending something special for the occasion. It still astounded me that she thought she could deceive me. Lily knows my intuition, determination, and unforgiving nature. She's witnessed my ruthlessness in the business world and knows I have controlling interest in a sizable trucking company. Despite treating her exceptionally well, showering her with care, and earning respect from others, she risked everything for a fleeting affair with her boss. The most troubling question remains, why? Lily had always excelled as a devoted mother and loving wife, making this situation particularly perplexing. Despite our active and fulfilling intimate life, she engaged in an extramarital affair. On the Thursday date night, everything was arranged. I arrived early, securing a private table and tipping the hostess generously. My wife, unaware of my presence, arranged to meet her boss. Utilizing software installed on her phone by the private investigator, I obtained incriminating evidence. Reading the text from her boss, instructing her to dress provocatively and pick her up at our home, filled me with anger. My plan was clear: confront them both and finalize the divorce proceedings. I planned to wait for the lovers to settle in with their initial drink before making my sudden appearance. That's when my performance would commence, culminating in a subtle threat and the unexpected presentation of the divorce papers. My anger and desire for revenge were intensifying. Deep down, I believed Lily wouldn't desire a divorce because of her genuine love for me and our children. However, I understood that my actions would devastate her and change her life irreversibly. Yet, in that moment, I didn't care. All I wanted was for her to feel some of the pain she had caused me. Some might advocate for forgiveness and moving on, especially for the sake of our children in our 15-year marriage. However, as a somewhat immature, jealous alpha male, I couldn't tolerate another man being with my wife, only to retain her as my devoted partner. As much as I loved her and as much as it hurt, I knew I could never see or touch her in the same way again. With surveillance and support on standby, I received the signal on Thursday night that the couple was seated and had their drinks. Prepared to confront them directly, I entered the restaurant after exchanging a smile with the hostess. Suppressing my anger, I proceeded with my plan. Seeing my beautiful wife in a provocative cocktail dress, showcasing her ample cleavage, angered me deeply, especially because she had never dressed that way for me. Her behavior puzzled and frustrated me, it made no sense and drove me crazy. It seemed she wanted to appear attractive to her date, which fueled my anger even more. Approaching their table unnoticed, they were absorbed in each other romantically. Only when I pulled a chair from a nearby table did they become aware of my presence. The look on Lily's face was indescribable, a mix of surprise, fear, and guilt that I had never seen before. The date remained clueless about the situation, merely staring at me with annoyance. Starting the confrontation, I greeted Lily with a big smile, asking if she was enjoying her date night. She responded smoothly, stating that she thought I was away and inviting me to join them. Despite her composed demeanor, I saw through her lies. Raising a toast without addressing her question, I offered a friendly smile and proposed a toast to an interesting night and new directions. Then, turning to her boss, I continued with the charade. Jeremy, have you ever considered what has sustained Lily and me in our marriage for 15 years? It's quite simple, honesty and trust. Are you in a committed relationship, Jeremy? I already had Jeremy's background from the report. Yes, I've been married for 2 decades, and I'm blessed with 4 wonderful children, aged between 5 and 13. Luciano, I echo your sentiments, trust and honesty form the cornerstone of our marriage as well. Jeremy, it's reassuring to hear your perspective. Lily, do you feel the same way? I posed the question, realizing it might put her in a difficult position. Absolutely, darling, she replied confidently, considering we were at a business dinner, there was no need for guilt or anxiety. Our marriage is built on a strong foundation, and Lily knows the depth of my love and commitment to her. As long as there is faithfulness, our bond remains unshakable. I observed a slight discomfort in both of them as I took a sip from my drink, keeping up with the charade. So, how long have you two been acquainted outside of work? I inquired casually, with a smirk on my face. Lily seemed perturbed and attempted to redirect, honey, this is a professional setting, and your questions are making things awkward with my boss. Please ensure that your envy doesn't cloud your judgment, you understand me well enough to know better. Following Lily's lead, her companion took the opportunity to assert dominance. Indeed, Luciano, this dinner is purely business. I needed to discuss upcoming changes, which is why I met with Lily tonight. I apologize if there's been a misunderstanding. I'd never overstep professional boundaries, especially with a married woman, I explained, attempting to convey remorse. In response, Luciano questioned, so, you're affirming you've never taken my wife out on a date, and this is strictly a business dinner? Lily quickly confirmed, absolutely, it's solely a business meeting. There's nothing between us. As I posed the decisive question to Lily, I already anticipated her response. Darling, it's only business meetings. I'd never be involved with another man, especially not my boss, Lily assured. Recognizing Jeremy's jealousy, Lily diffused the situation, saying, I apologize, Jeremy can be a bit jealous, but he knows how much I love him. Playing along, I apologized, please forgive me, I do tend to get a little jealous, especially seeing you in that attractive dress with this handsome man. Jeremy, seemingly reassured, gave me a friendly pat on the back, commenting, no need to apologize. If my wife looked this stunning and was out with a stranger, well, I'm not sure how I'd react. With tensions eased, I signaled the man from the bar, who approached our table and handed me a thick folder before swiftly leaving. As I laid out photos from the folder, I turned to Lily and spoke softly, Lily, you know I loved you with all my heart and was ready to give you everything. But you've discarded that love. With all the years of our marriage, you've hurt me deeply, and I'll never forget those videos and the hurtful things you said about me on those recordings. The memories of those moments will haunt me for a lifetime, thanks for that. I set down the first 8 by 10 inches photo, unveiling Lily on her knees with Jeremy, you get the picture. The next shot captured him, wrapping things up on her face, followed by a sequence of them in various. Lily let out a gasp of shock, covering her mouth with her hands, while Jeremy demanded to know the source of those photos. I simply hushed him. After arranging the photos, I took a moment to scrutinize each one, throwing in comments like, Lily, you look quite captivating with that in your mouth, and, Jeremy, you seem pretty content in this shot, looks like you're savoring my wife. Lily was now openly weeping, pleading with me to stop. With other diners beginning to take notice, I kept my voice low to avoid causing a scene. Lily realized the seriousness of the situation and saw only one escape route. "I'm really sorry, baby. Can we just leave and discuss what's going on?" "It's not what it looks like," she pleaded. Looking at her with a hint of amusement, I asked slowly, "Not what it looks like. Are you planning to keep up the charade, being deceitful?" "But hold on, both of you should know that I've got a treasure trove of evidence, videos, audio recordings, text messages, emails, and photos. Lily, I must confess, after witnessing those videos, I never imagined that side of you existed, that you could stoop so low. You kept that part of yourself hidden from me, and that stings. I've invested a pretty penny over the past few months gathering this evidence, and it's all above board, so rest assured, I've got the full picture." As I packed away the documents, I clarified, "Now, let me spell out why I'm here and what's going down tonight." Passing Lily the divorce papers, I delivered the news, "Lily, it's curtains for us. You and I are done. Your fling with your beau has torpedoed our marriage and my feelings for you. You've inflicted a pain on me that cuts deep, and I won't endure it any longer. Tonight, you'll be signing this document, and there's a notary at the bar who will witness your signature. If you don't sign tonight, I'll reveal all the videos and audio recordings to your parents, our friends, and your children will discover the kind of mother you've been. While I've been equitable in this divorce, our daughters will be staying with me. There's no way they'll live with someone who's been unfaithful and disrespectful like you. Jeremy, my friend, I strongly advise you to bring your girlfriend here to sign this before I leave. Otherwise, I'll ensure all the evidence reaches your wife and your superiors at work. Once I'm through, your job will be at risk, and I'll work on persuading your wife, Sarah, to divorce you, leaving you financially devastated for a considerable time. I truly hope to avoid this scenario, so please focus on getting her to sign those divorce papers. After that, you can have my soon-to-be ex-wife. I want no further involvement with her." My words had a profound impact, especially the thought of losing her daughters, which hit her hard. Tears streamed down her face, and her boyfriend looked visibly alarmed. Lily implored me to reconsider, offering the same tired excuses and for forgiveness. "It's not what it seems, let me explain, I'll make things right, it was a mistake, please forgive me," she begged, concluding with a heartfelt, "Luciano, I love you, and I don't want this, please give me another chance." Disregarding her, I stood up and declared, "I'm going to the restroom. When I return, those papers had better be signed. If not, you won't even comprehend the chaos I'll bring into your lives." Leaving Lily in tears and her lover in disbelief, I knew Jeremy would go to any lengths to ensure she signed those papers and safeguard his own interests. In my absence, Jeremy acted swiftly, recognizing the stakes. He couldn't risk his wife and job seeing those videos. Determined to avoid such a scenario, he needed to convince Lily to sign the divorce papers. "Lily, just sign them for now. Then, ask him to hold on to them for a week. That'll give us time to talk and persuade him of our love. Promise to seek therapy, do whatever it takes, but make him wait a week. Tell him it's the least he can do after 15 years of marriage, for one mistake. It's our best chance right now. I can tell he's serious, and if he has those videos and audio recordings, we're both in trouble." "I don't want a divorce," she cried out. "Believe me, if you can just get him to wait, I'm confident we can salvage our marriage. Think about our kids, you wouldn't want to lose them, right?" Tears welled up again, and after a few moments, Luciano returned to the table. "So, have you put your signature on those papers yet?" he asked. With the most sorrowful expression I'd ever seen, she locked eyes with me and said, "Honey, I'll do whatever you want, including signing these papers. But could you please give me a week before you make any final decisions? Could you let me come back home with you and grant me that time? After 15 years together, can I have 1 week to be with our daughters and talk? Can you please give me that chance?" I remained silent, gazing into her eyes for a while, contemplating her plea. Ultimately, I relented and responded, "Despite the fact that you deserve my anger for what you've done and how you've shattered our marriage for this jerk, I'll grant you that. You can come back home, and I'll give you 1 week before I hand the paperwork over to my lawyer. You'll stay in one of the guest bedrooms. I don't want you near my bed during this time. Now, go ahead and sign them so I can get out of here." She put her signature on the papers, and I placed them into the folder. Standing up, ready to leave, I took her hand in mine before walking away. And she flashed a momentary smile until she realized I was removing her wedding rings. Tucking them into my pocket, I then took off the ring I had worn for our 15-year marriage. Holding it up, I caught her gaze and casually tossed it into her glass of wine. The look on her face brought me a small amount of satisfaction, and when her tears began to flow again, I couldn't help but smile slightly, knowing she was starting to grasp my pain. Turning to Jeremy, I remarked, "Well, you've got her now. Do as you please with her. I'm leaving. But remember this, Jeremy, you meddled with my wife, destroyed our marriage, and jeopardized so much, including my children's perception of their mother. Your fate is in my hands, and I hold your future. Don't cross me. You're fortunate I didn't carry out my original plans for you. This isn't the end between us, you scumbag. You'll be hearing from me soon. Got it?" Jeremy nodded quietly as I stood towering over him. It seems I may have disrupted their evening plans. I pondered whether they'd still be up for their little escapade once I left. As I made my exit, Lily grasped my arm and pleaded, "Luciano, can I please return home with you? I just want to be with you, please." Jerking my arm away as if it had been scorched, I snapped, "Forget it. I won't be seen with you. You're his toy tonight. Catch you after he's done using you. Whether it's tonight or tomorrow, it's all the same to me. You've got 1 week. You disgust me, and I regret ever being your husband." Yes, I admit I was harsh, but frankly, I didn't care. I felt I'd kept my jealousy and anger in check. Suppressing all that pent-up rage was an achievement. I did give her a week, let's see what unfolds. Update, the next morning, I heard her return home an hour later than usual. To her credit, she headed straight to the guest room. She must have realized I wouldn't be up for a calm conversation that night. The following morning, we crossed paths in the kitchen as I went down for coffee. Still driven by a thirst for revenge, I maintained my cold demeanor and remarked, "Morning, wife. How's my unfaithful partner today?" She visibly flinched, lowering her gaze to her coffee. Then, she offered the typical response of a cheating spouse desperate to salvage the marriage, "Honey, we need to talk." "Listen, there's no need to discuss this, Lily. I know what you've been doing, how long it's been going on, and all the things you've said about me. I've seen you do things with him you never did with me. I observed how you dressed up to impress him, knowing he appeared more impressive, as I've heard repeatedly in those videos. You deceived, concealed, cheated, and portrayed me as a fool. It's hard to fathom you were that naive. If there's something I'm overlooking, we can discuss it. Otherwise, I have nothing more to say. The fool here is me, not you. I'm puzzled as to why I allowed it to happen. You provided me with everything I ever desired, and I love you, irrespective of what was heard in those videos. You must understand that hurting you was never my intention, and I never desired for you to discover it," she managed to express amid her tears. "That's precisely the issue, Lily. You never wanted me to find out. You opted to keep it hidden, to continue lying, cheating, and maintaining your relationship concealed behind my back. That's the true problem here, Lily. I can forgive infidelity, we're all human and make mistakes. However, this wasn't a mistake. You made a choice and intended to keep it concealed, perpetuating the lies, deceit, and secret relationship. I still love you, Lily, but as Tina Turner croons, what's love got to do with it? My trust is shattered, and I'm questioning if I ever truly knew you. How many others were involved? How many times did you share your bed with your lover before returning to ours with his traces? I'm utterly repulsed, I can barely find the words I shared, my voice weighed down with emotion. Now sobbing, she finally understood the gravity of my feelings and comprehended the enormity of her actions. She had no more excuses or justifications, only an acknowledgement of her wrongdoing. All right, I confess, and I'm filled with self-disgust. There was no one else, and I realize you won't be able to forgive me regardless of what I say. However, I don't want us to divorce. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to salvage our relationship. I believe I need therapy, and perhaps we can attend sessions together to address my issues. Please, don't leave me, Lily pleaded. I paused for a moment before responding. Lily, you can certainly seek counseling and work on yourself, and I'll support you through it. But I can't stay with someone who could so easily discard me. Your actions and words have revealed your true feelings, and I can't imagine living with someone who harbors such emotions towards me. I know there are other women out there who would appreciate being with me. You had your chance, and you let it slip away. Take this week to spend time with the girls and find a way to explain your departure to them. I won't speak negatively of you, but you must be honest with them about why you're leaving. In our divorce agreement, I've granted you full access to the girls whenever you want, but they'll primarily live with me. If you continue behaving recklessly and setting a poor example for them, I'll have to make your visits more difficult. Understand that I'll treat you better than you may deserve, and I'll help you maintain your relationship with the girls. However, I have 2 questions that I need answers to. Listen carefully and think before responding. First, why did you risk everything for this? And second, was it worth it? On Monday, I called Jeremy and set up a lunch meeting for Wednesday. Despite my initial reluctance, he persuaded me it was a good idea to meet. During our lunch, I vented my frustrations to Jeremy about how he had contributed to the downfall of my marriage and narrowly avoided severe consequences. I then presented him with an alternative plan. Over lunch, I discussed with him the far-reaching impact of his actions on numerous individuals due to his involvement with a married woman. I outlined my expectations for him to rectify the situation. Part of this entailed him covering Lily's rent and car payments for the next 3 years. I believed he needed to experience some discomfort for his actions and explained how this plan would function. I'll send you the payment details for you to set up automatic transfers. This is your form of punishment, and trust me, you're getting off lightly. Even though I'm finished with my cheating wife, I still care for her and want her to be taken care of. Since you're the reason for all of this, you will comply with my terms. This arrangement will assist Lily in getting back on her feet after I evict her. I don't care how you manage it, but if you fail to follow through, I'll ensure you lose your job, and your wife Sarah learns about your affair. As a bonus, you get to keep your life. This is all because you chose to involve yourself with a married woman. Jerks like you need to realize there are consequences for your actions. Instead of tearing apart families, why not pursue single women? Your actions were truly despicable, Jeremy. Update: I maintained a level of decency with Lily, allowing her to see the kids and maintain their bond, but my trust and respect for her remained incomplete. Jeremy stayed consistent with his monthly payments, always mindful of my warning. Lily struggled to provide satisfactory explanations for her actions. She conceded that her infidelity and deceit were not worthwhile and regretted her decisions, yet she couldn't pinpoint why she had acted that way. Now, she lives alone without a partner and the affection she once had. While I could have sought further retribution, the loss of her family and my love was sufficient vengeance. Despite her efforts in therapy, the question of why remained unanswered. Her best explanation was, I don't know why, it just happened. It wasn't about you or our marriage because I genuinely loved you and was content with our intimacy and shared life. It was something new and exciting, and I made a mistake. I couldn't refrain from questioning Lily. If you were content, why did you dress provocatively and wear seductive outfits for him? Why did you do things for him that you never did for me? Perhaps if you had invested that effort into our relationship, we wouldn't be in this predicament. It just happened isn't a sufficient answer. You repeatedly engaged in it and dressed to excite him each time, yet you claimed to love me. I hope one day you can provide a genuine explanation. I believe we all deserve that much. Thank you.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and click on the little bell icon for notifications of new stories.